More about trial for a Tyler doctor facing several counts of sexual assault. In Smith County, prosecutors confirm Kenneth Haygood's case is still on track for a June trial. KLTV7's Michael Richardson has the update.
In court today, Kenneth Haygood appeared for another status hearing, the state confirming that his trial is still on track for June. Now, they are reviewing documents and meeting with witnesses as the case develops. The Tyler doctor faces 6 counts of sexual assault, 1 count of sexual assault of a child, and 1 count of practicing medicine without a license. Here's a look at his Tyler office, which has been shut down. According to the probable cause affidavit, Haygood is accused of providing ketamine shots to a patient after his license was suspended. Back in November, the defense said they were combing through hundreds of hours of discovery and dozens of hours of video relating to the case. Right after today's hearing, I spoke with Smith County Assistant DA Emil Mickelson. He says the state is debating whether to bring all the cases before the jury at the same time. Now, as for Haygood's trial date, it's set for June 23rd. Reporting in Tyler, Michael Richardson, KLTV7 News.
And Haygood is due back in Smith County Court April 17th.